You're a homeowner and you're looking to do some home renovations or even build an ADU, but you don't know where to start when finding a contractor. My name's Darren Tsai. I'm a licensed mortgage and real estate broker here in Orange County, California, and my channel is dedicated to helping people just like you build wealth through real estate education. I decided to make this video about how to find a contractor because I received so many emails from this ADU video that I made last year. And it made me realize many people have no clue how to find a contractor. So I'm making this video to walk you through it. And what I really want for you is that if you do want to build an ADU or do some home renovations, you have a great experience with the contractor that you find. I don't want you to end up like some of these people. These are just posts from a couple Facebook groups that I'm in related to building ADUs and construction. These people were left with an unfinished project after paying thousands of dollars. So I don't want these situations to happen to you. Okay, let's start with one of the biggest mistakes people do when looking for a contractor. Most people rush the process. They'll just trust a friend's recommendation or just go with the first contractor that they find, and they won't do any research at all. Now, I definitely don't recommend that because that can lead to a number of problems like delays, hidden costs, poor workmanship, and an unfinished project. And so I know that you're really excited to get construction started and be done with that project, but take a big breath, slow down, verify who that contractor is, and make sure you compare your options. Okay, so now I'm going to share 3 things that you will always need to check before hiring a contractor. And these are non-negotiables. So there's 3 things. Number 1, check the contractor's license. You would be shocked at how many people skip this step, right? Like this person from this Facebook group, I signed a contract with an unlicensed ADU company, in parentheses, I didn't know they were unlicensed, 2 years ago and paid them obscene amounts of money because everything was going just fine during design and permitting. Once it was time to break ground, the ADU company basically ghosted me. Okay, see, there's a real life example of someone not even knowing the company they hired was not licensed. And so here's another person from the Facebook group that used an unlicensed person as well. I've been scammed by a general contractor who's building my ADU near LAX. He is from San Bernardino. He disappeared with $10,000 worth of prepaid labor and materials. He didn't buy the materials. I checked yesterday with the store. Doesn't answer the phone anymore after 10 days of daily excuses why he would not show up to work. Well, he just got $10,000 for free, basically. Next sentence says, since he doesn't have a license, parentheses, he said he was working on getting it. What is my recourse besides suing? And this person actually goes on in the bottom of her comment. Please don't mention that I should have not used an unlicensed contractor as I well know that this is a risk. However, I have worked with unlicensed people before who had plenty of construction experience and not only did an incredible job, but were also super honest. Well, I'm glad it worked out for her in the past, but hopefully here she is learning her lesson. I don't want you to pay a $10,000 lesson when she already did that for you. The second non-negotiable is hiring a local contractor. And what I mean by this is you need to know that this company is a reputable company in your area. Now, what's happening a lot, I'm sure you get these mailers all the time like I do, is companies from other counties will just aggressively mail, but they actually won't be the service provider. Their crews won't actually be the ones doing the work. So they'll have these salespeople. This happened to me personally. I was getting bids to get some roof work done, and these companies from LA, these project managers were driving from LA to here when I'd asked them like, oh, where are you from? Where do you do the work? I thought it was really strange that they were driving all the way from LA to do a job here in Huntington Beach. I definitely recommend you verify where the contractor is located, and they should be local. And the third thing to always check is kind of similar to number 2, but try to verify who's actually coming in to work on your home. So ask the general contractor, are these going to be subs or are these people in your crew? Have you worked with them before? And the main thing is that you want to know kind of the people that are going to be in your home. An example of this is when I got bids for my ADU, one of the ADU companies said that they would have their plumber who I asked like, oh, is this on your staff? Is it a sub? They said, oh, this guy's on my staff, would come out and check out my property to figure out part of the plumbing bid for them. Well, the plumber on his staff was supposed to show up the next day after the initial consultation, but he showed up 4 days later at some random time. Just a random guy showed up at my house saying, hey, I'm a plumber. And I felt very awkward and I felt a little bit alarmed. And then I had to kind of ask the plumber a lot of questions to finally figure out, oh, he's with this one ADU company. So that for me automatically was a big no. I'm not working with this company. Their communication was terrible. They're sending random people to my house. That is not okay. So going back to it, 3 things: non-negotiables, must check, contractor's license, verify where their company is located, and then verify their staff or if they're using subs. And to add to that, here are 5 of the biggest red flags and things that you should also be looking out for. So the first one is if the contractor is asking for a big upfront deposit, like more than 20%, that's a warning sign. And we already learned from this lady on Facebook who lost $10,000, right? She got scammed $10,000 worth of prepaid labor and materials. And that contractor was never to be seen again. Number 2, the contractor has no clear explanation of their process, and they're a poor communicator in general. So maybe they're not responding to you timely. Maybe they're not really listening to your vision of the plan and just kind of upselling you on what they think the project should be like. And I've heard this from multiple people that contractors are really great at communicating upfront, but once the project starts, they stop responding. So if they have poor communication while giving you a bid, I don't think that communication is going to get better once the project starts. Now, the third thing to look out for, red flag, is an incomplete bid. So ideally in your bid process, progress billings, so a timeline of when payments get paid to the contractor based on completion. I'll share an example of one later in the video. You'll probably want to see some line items for labor, materials, and the overall timeline as well. Red flag number 4, no written contract. Like this for me would just be a flat out deal breaker. The contract isn't just there to protect you, but it's also there to protect contractors as well, because there are homeowners that take advantage of contractors as well. But going back to not having a contract, this is from that Facebook post. And so this is not my experience, but this is someone posting in the group. I want to share my experience here so no one makes the same mistake I made. I contacted a company for remodel work in my home close to 2 years ago. They sent 5 people to my home for looking at the project site for an estimate. Among them, one lady told us that she herself is a licensed contractor and would give us discounted prices if we go through her. That's already kind of a red flag, but okay. She would talk to her husband and send us the estimate. She later sent us a text that her husband will do the work for a certain amount. We hired them without signing any contract. That was a very serious mistake that I will regret forever. Tiles were moving from day one after they finished that work. Within less than a year, bathrooms started having water leaks, tiles started falling off, many holes were left between tiles because there wasn't sufficient grout. I'm sharing this with this group as I felt stupid. I can't go back in time in the past and change it. Please do not hire anyone by their sweet talks. Even a licensed contractor can run a fraud scheme with us. So that red flag, right? There's no written contract. This family, they just went with this lady who said she was a licensed contractor for cheaper work. Yeah, that was another red flag, that she got bids from this company and then this lady said, hey, I can do this for cheaper on the side. That would be another red flag. I didn't actually have that in the video before, but reading through that story, definitely add that one as well. The last major red flag, I would say, number 5, is no reviews or verified work. I don't think it's a strange request or a hard request for you to say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Contractor, do you have any referrals of past clients? And do you have pictures of their work? I recently had somebody call me out of the blue and say, hey, I'm thinking about getting a bid from this contractor. They gave me your number. The contractor did give me a heads up a few weeks before that, but I was still surprised because I wasn't really expecting it. And then she asked like, oh, do you have pictures of it? I said, yeah. And then I showed her the pictures of it. And I don't know if she ended up going with the same contractor I did, but it's not a weird thing to do. That's completely normal. And any honest, trustworthy contractor would be happy to give you those referrals. Additionally, you can find them on Angie's List or Yelp or Google Business, obviously the normal places to find reviews. But I would say if they don't have any, that's a little bit concerning. So if you could do me a huge favor, I would appreciate it. The other viewers would appreciate it. If you could share one of your horror stories, if you have any, or if you could share some red flags you think I missed in the comments. And if you're a contractor yourself, go ahead and leave a comment too. We'd love to hear it from your side. So I mentioned previously in the video about progress billings, basically a timeline of different milestones and how much the contractor gets paid based on completion. This is just an example one for a bathroom remodel. And so if you work in construction, I'm sure you're used to these, or if you're an engineer, you see these all the time. But for us people not in those industries, and not that familiar with construction, this is what it would look like, right? So contractor would get 10% after demo is complete, maybe 20% after rough plumbing and or mechanicals done, 20% after rough electrical is done, 20% after shower prep, 20% after all the tiling is done, and then 10% upon completion. And so a lot of the times, if you are pulling permits as well, these progress billings and payments will be tied to the completion of those inspections and like passing those inspections as well. Obviously, having this type of payment schedule will keep the contractor accountable and willing to finish the job, and it protects you from paying too much up front. Now, one more thing that I received in multiple emails was lowball offers and then getting charged a ton for change orders and unforeseen expenses. So if you see a lowball bid that looks too good to be true, it probably is. So I would recommend always get at least 3 bids so you understand what is reasonable. Make sure all the bids are comparing the same things. If one bid is only giving you a bid for labor and they're not charging for materials, well then of course it's going to be lower than the bid that is charging for materials, labors, and permits. So make sure you're comparing similar bids. I mean, as we've seen in these comments, right, going with the lowest bid doesn't seem to always work out the best. And last but not least, what I think makes a great contractor. A great contractor isn't just someone who builds things for you. It's someone who is going to listen to what you want and bring that to life. So they'll actually take the time to understand your vision, the limitations of that project, your budget, and then they'll offer you some practical solutions to actually make it happen. And they'll actually guide you to the best decision for your budget and not just the most expensive options. Above all, I think what makes a great contractor is they're a great communicator. So they're going to set realistic expectations with cost, unknown costs, and the timeline. At the end of the day, for most people, your home is your biggest investment. So choosing the wrong contractor can cost you tens of thousands of dollars and, more importantly, unnecessary stress. But by taking the time to ask the right questions, looking out for those red flags, and verifying information, you can avoid these big mistakes and you can enjoy your renovation much sooner. Now, if you are looking for a contractor in my local area, which is Huntington Beach, Long Beach, Seal Beach, Costa Mesa, these areas near Orange County and Long Beach, feel free to email me at darren@realdarrensci.com. And as always, I truly hope this video helped you, and I'll see you on the next one.